And that's the intro clip. Hey guys, welcome back to Junk Drawer. My name is Samuel.
I'm Antonio.
I'm Brian.
Welcome. We're glad that you are here. I think on the last episode, what we talked about was pretty serious, and I'm not apologizing for it because it was pretty good content, and I do actually love stuff like that, getting deep into things. But I think today, well, we did mention the last one was we're going to talk about how some work situations should be a little bit more understanding for some people and how they are
Yeah.
pretty touchy.
Oh,
Specifically customer service. A lot of people, I would say most people have worked in customer service before, whether that's like fast food or if it's just like the regular restaurant business. But it seems like a lot of the older people have no idea what it's like, or they forget how it's like, because older people do like to get really pissy
Pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like the people that work here, what they made a mistake, like what. It's like whenever someone makes a mistake, they get really fucking mad, and you see like you see memes on the internet about that because it's
absolutely.
teenagers, like they go through that every fucking day at work, and they have to deal with customers that are like that, and it's really it's annoying, and it just sucks because your work already you're at work and you already probably don't like being at work that much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most definitely.
And then when you make an honest mistake, people
Lash, and then it doesn't really help your situation
Yeah.
going throughout your day.
Only escalates it.
Yep, pretty much. I can say a number of times where I don't work stuff like that, but I mean the same situation kind of happens when you have supervisors and stuff in working in factories, facilities, warehouses and whatnot. Because a number of times where I have seen supervisors snapping at the people that are working under them, and I'm like, if you know what it's like, and you know how busy things can get, I'm sorry, you should kind of encourage that people work together and almost reward them, saying and give them a compliment, good job, or saying that you should probably like speed up a little bit, sure. But when you snap at somebody immediately, because I've had this happen, one of the supervisors like, we need to move faster and you're not moving fast enough. I looked at her and I was like, look, I'm doing my part, I'm doing it as fast as I can with all the stuff that's coming down here, so I would appreciate it if you'd kind of relaxed a little bit, because you have no way of talking to me like that because I just got here, first of all, and I don't work in this part. But
If you could politely fuck off.
it'd be like that sometimes, Brian, and it really does. It really does.
there seems to be a real lack of empathy a lot of the times. I know for me personally, working in the restaurant business, there's one time I was hosting, and we being me and the other hosts there, we gotta at this specific restaurant, we have to find seats for them. I know in some restaurants the hosts just bring them to their seats. Somebody else like picks the seats for them, whether that's their servers or like, I don't know. But and at this restaurant, we have to find where they go, and we have to pay attention to all the servers, how many tables each server has. We make sure we don't double seat them, which means seat them like two tables, like within 5 minutes or something like that. So there's a lot we have to pay attention to, and when there are a lot of people there, we have a system to help us, get through the customers. So we put their name in this computer system, and then the next person, once the next like people in line come up, we call their name, and then we bring them to their seat. There's one family that I guess for some reason didn't get put on the list, or they got like taken off the list, or for some reason they weren't on the list.
Okay.
And they were waiting for longer than some other
Everybody
people.
else who probably walked in.
Yeah. And they started getting mad. They're like, hey, we were there before like those people. And we asked for their name, and we found out that their name wasn't in the list. So we were like, okay, sorry about that. We made a mistake. Your name wasn't in the system. We'll seat you next, which is what we did. We sat them the next table that was available. And then I was the person to go actually bring them to their seat. They got mad at me, and it was an older lady, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually older people.
It normally is.
Yeah. It was an older lady, and she goes, "That is unacceptable." And no, it is unacceptable that we had to wait that long. And like, I don't know how to respond to that because obviously we can't.
Tell you
You're
that
not supposed to, yeah.
Be like, it's not my problem.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to get mad. We're not supposed to. So I just kept saying, "I'm sorry, ma'am. We made an honest mistake. We brought you to your table. I don't know what you want." Like, I didn't say that, but
It was in the back of your mind.
It's pretty much.
What are we supposed to do? What are we gonna do?
Yeah, you
We're
can't.
not gonna give you free food because you waited a little too long. Like, get it the fuck over it, seriously.
Yeah. We have that same issue with customers that come in sometimes because we don't have any, like, we all get along working in, you know, such a small group. But it's just like the customers sometimes can get so unreasonable. Like, especially with this season, online orders coming through all the time. It's like,
if they don't get their order, they're gonna get mad at you.
Yes.
Well, we've had people, or, you know, I personally had some guy get mad at me because he's like, I placed this online order an hour ago. You guys should have had it done. Like, well, I mean, we had, you know, 65 some other online orders we had to get up and pack. Like, those ones need to be out today. These ones, they're priority, but not as high priority as the ones we had to get shipped by 3.
Yeah.
We only have 3 hours to pack all of this shit.
And I guess I can see why people would get mad.
Oh, totally.
But it's they don't think about.
But I told him it would take 2 minutes to process. Like, I literally typed it in and everything. He's like, I want a refund. I'm like, here's your package, sir. Like, I didn't even bother arguing. I just handed it to him and essentially kind of shoot him off. At that point,
if he has it, he can't really do anything.
Yeah.
He was also one of those people that refused to wear a mask. When he came in.
I've had people like that.
Which, I mean, like, when it comes to wearing masks and stuff, if I was working there, I would tell you, you know, just at least cover up your face with something. I understand you may not want to wear it, you know, I believe in that, you know, that you have your choice and whatnot. But, you know, with rules and regulations, my bad. There are times when, you know, you're supposed to, because it has to. I'm one of the people that just go with the flow, because if it hinders me doing my job, then I'll say something. Besides that, I'm kind of okay with it just being whatever. But if you're in there and I'm supposed to tell you, I told you. So if you have a fit, you can talk to whoever's above me, because I really don't want to banter with you. So,
well, according to my manager, apparently we had a guy come in, wasn't wearing a mask, didn't, you know, we can't ask them. You know, because it's like asking somebody with a service animal. You can't ask them what the animal's for or whatever, because technically animals aren't allowed in the store, but it's a service animal. But yeah, we can't ask. So we can't ask them why they're not wearing a mask. We can only just help them to get out of the store as fast as we can get them out, you know. We can ask that they put on a mask, but, you know. And then literally the guy checked out, you know, left. And then right behind him in line was a representative from the City of Rockford Health Department.
Oh, boy.
And my manager's like, if this isn't a setup, I don't know what it is. But she was like, you know, asking, you know, why didn't you tell him to wear a mask, or why didn't you ask? He's like, because I can't ask.
Yeah.
And she's like, but yes, you can. He's like, no, I can. It's illegal for me to ask that question. And it's just, I don't know. It's just a whole mess with everything the way it is right now.
Yeah.
It's like you don't think you should know that law if you're a health representative.
Yes. Yeah. At the restaurant that I worked at, or I still technically work there, I'm just not getting any hours because dining rooms are closed. But yeah, we did. Like, it's company policy that if you're gonna go in the restaurant when dining rooms were still open, It was company policy that you have to wear a mask inside in the lobby. If you're waiting in the lobby, you have to wear a mask when you get in. Once you get to your table, obviously you can take it off.
Because how you're going to eat.
Yeah, because, but, and like some people would say, oh, that's ridiculous. I'm just going to go straight to my seat. And we're like, yes, that's true. I get it, but it's still mandatory. It's company policy.
Yeah.
Like it was mandatory that we ask them that we tell them that it's required to wear a mask inside. Some people would get like, most people would just be like, oh, really? Okay, yeah, I can put on a mask, whatever. But
those people I hate. The ones that don't want to put it on but have it in their pocket.
I don't mind them so much as long as they do put on the mask after we ask them, because at least they're putting it on. But there are, I've had someone where I'm glad I didn't have to deal with them.
But you watched it.
No, actually, I was there. I was talking to them, but I didn't have to deal with their anger. So the thing was, at the time, we couldn't ask them to wear a mask outside because it was outside.
Outside, yeah.
Yeah. But so this was in the warmer months. We would have some people wait outside because we could only have 2 parties like waiting in the lobby at once. So there's one lady where, she was going outside and she asked me, do I have to wear a mask outside? I'm like, outside, you don't have to. And then she like was all relieved and she's like, oh, thank God. And she said something about like, these city officials trying to make us do what they want or something like this or that. And I was like, yeah,
I got a job to do.
Oh, I hate that when they just talk. They talk a bunch of nonsense, but you can't correct them because you're at work.
Yeah. They like kind of speak their opinions at you as if you have the same opinions, and it's like
you can't disagree because then they might get offended.
I'm not gonna disagree while I'm at work, but I'm also not gonna agree. I'm just gonna be like, because like if I disagree with them, I feel like they're gonna like
backlash at you.
Yeah, they're gonna get pissy or something.
Yeah,
that goes okay. To what you were saying about how you have to tell them because you're at work. It's because you're at work, and I don't think that some people understand that you have to tell them because you are at work and you are required depending on where you are. So I think that just comes when any job. It's just a lack of understanding from either side of what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Just 2 weeks ago, I think I already told you guys the story, but I was at a shoe store, and this lady who was there before my friend and I were there getting her some shoes because she needed them for work and she didn't know what to do. So like, sure, I'll help you, I guess, but not the point. And at the time, the lady talked to her, the worker that was there. The lady talked to her saying, do you need anything? She said, yeah, I need something up top. I'll grab the ladder and reach it. And she was like, okay, cool. And I overhear everything. Plus the store is like half empty, number of people in the store. But not only that, she comes by us and she was like, do you guys need anything while I'm helping the other customer? And she said, yeah, do you have this number? And she's like, I'll check for you after I'm done with the customer. The lady that she just talked to came over there and snapped at the worker. And I was kind of like, why'd you do that? In the back of my mind. And they just keep going off. We get our shoes. We go to the cash register and I'm just kind of watching there and they're still yelling. The store's completely empty. So it's just... it's just like loud everywhere and I'm just kind of like, okay, this is annoying. So I ended up going over there and I was like, okay, let me try to diffuse the situation here. I, being the person I am, I'm letting both sides talk because the yelling over, when you yell over one another,
it just escalates.
Yes, it just gets higher and higher because you're trying to talk over each other and neither of them started was making sense. And I was kind of like, okay, you're going to repeat the same thing. All right. I went over there. I said, okay, let's let the worker speak because the customer was not letting her speak at all.
Yeah.
Which was annoying to me because I know what it's like to work retail. You're going to yell over me, I'll kick you out the store. So.
We can't do that where I am.
Yeah. This kind of sucks. When you go, you can't.
Because it's private property, but we're not the owners of the private property.
Yeah. Right. But They kept bantering back and forth. I go over there, I let the worker speak, and then I let the customer speak. Now, the customer began to speak, stopped, and then I let the worker speak again because she had something to say. And then every time the customer tried to speak, I'd cut her off and say, no, you need to listen to her because you will continue to get louder because you're not letting her speak because you believe that she's talking over you. She stopped talking.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the worker said her side, I began to speak. And then the customer tries talking over me. And I was like, no, again, let me speak and then you can speak. Because once you continue to do that, you think that you're in control, but you're just going to yell and get louder. So if you can take the time to sit down and talk back and forth and figure it out, because the customer wasn't at all paying attention to the fact that she was just on the way. I understand, it might offset you. You might have had a bad day. Sure, you don't know what happened outside the store until you got there.
Mm-hmm.
Things happen. It does. It really does. But the other thing that you need to pay attention to is that they might also be having a hard day. So be considerate, people. Please be considerate, guys. I know both of you are, to most of the people at least, because some people just don't deserve it. But still be so. And I'm pretty sure that the worker thought that I was on the customer side. But, it's the same policy of the customer is always right. Sure, sometimes. But when they're not in the justification of making any such decision and just getting louder, you have the right to tell them no. So, but they didn't say no, and they bought the shoes and they left. You're welcome.
Sale.
Right?
I've had people tell me stories. I've had people tell me stories where a customer will come in without a mask. That the person who works there will obviously have to tell them it's required to wear a mask in here.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a mask, we're going to have to ask you to put it on. And if you don't, we'll give you one, right? Most places do that. They'll have extra masks to give to the customers should they not have one, even though they should have one if they're going out. But
which, you could have forgotten one. I've done that before.
Yeah, that's true. That's also true. If you forget one, obviously we'll give you one.
It's something new to life, so
right. But then if the customer refuses to wear a mask and is something that that baffles me is that customers like that they'll like to go, I'm gonna call the cops. I don't have to do what you say, whatever. Yeah. And it's what are the cops gonna do? This is a private company. You don't have to come here.
Yeah.
You can leave and not wear a mask, but while you're in here, you have to wear a mask because it's company it's company policy.
And the cops also come in with a mask too, which kind of cracks me up a little bit.
And you see videos like that on the internet where the customer's wrong in that situation, obviously.
I'm all for open opinions. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I have nothing against it. If that's you don't want to wear a mask, sure, whatever. I'm gonna do what I want, and so are you.
Now there is people with medical cards that if you ask them to put on a mask and they say you have a medical reason, you can ask them to see their medical card.
Right.
That is something you can do. Now, there's fake ones and there's real ones. The fake ones are typically plastic. The real ones are actually that kind of high grade cardboard paper kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. the thick stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because we had a guy come in that was, we had a decent talk with him actually about it and everything. And he was kind of informing us about what the real ones are, how to look out for the fake ones, and all this.
Oh, nice.
This looks pretty informative. Where I work, it's entirely different. They make you, but of course, it gets to the part to where once I get to my designated area, I pull my mask down from time to time because I've worked with those people for over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Well, and most people that get it, supposedly, and because no one really knows how this is properly working, because there's so many mixed things about how this is affecting people and everything. But supposedly, according to a member in my family, you can only really get it once. You're pretty much it's like the flu. You can only get it once a year, typically. one strain of the flu, that is. But like this, it's similar to that in that nature. Like, you get it, you're most likely not going to get it again. Or you're much less likely to get it again because you've already had it once.
Right. Because your body has antibodies.
Yes, it's now built up an antibody.
I will say I'm a big fan of natural healing, so I'm not a fan of getting stuff injected into you. Well, for me at least, because I know how my body works. For myself, that's why. So like, I do encourage, if people want to get a flu shot, you should get it. If you don't, okay, whatever. But
for stuff like that, I agree. But stuff like HPV, definitely get your shots, because that can kill you within 2 days.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to college.
But I got the flu shot once in my life.
And got sick as hell?
Sick. I was out of school
Me
for
too.
3 weeks.
Oh, shit.
It was so bad. I was sweating. I had to keep covered up because I had to get it out somehow. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. It was so hard. My mom would come up to me and be like, "You need anything?" I'd be like, and just close my eyes again. I'm like, dude, I can't move. I couldn't be in my room anymore because like it just felt like I was congested in just a room full of germs. Yeah. So I just sat in, when I was back at my mom's, this little den area, so I just sat there underneath the sun so I could sweat it all out. So it was bad. I'm never getting flu shot again. I guess I got to get it for like a requirement for a job. Sure.
Really?
Yeah, some jobs require it.
That's dumb.
Yeah, a little bit. But like, I don't want to get this vaccine for the virus.
No, you know what sucks about like my doctor is, well, it's yours too, but he knows me and he works with someone in my family, and it's just like, it's like, he's very pro flu shot, and so he's like, "Do you want the flu shot today?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, because I'm 20, I make my own decisions, and I'm like, "No, I don't want the flu shot." He gave it to me anyway. I got sick. I'm like, "You suck." Because it's pretty much inject a small portion of that live virus into your body.
Yeah,
but that can have a negative effect on a lot of people, especially if your immune system's not as strong.
Which is crazy because my immune system is like 9 times out of 10 top notch. But when I get sick bad, like really, really bad, and it happens very so rarely. But when it happens, I want to die.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
The way it works for me is I never get sick until I say I haven't gotten sick in a while, or that I say that I've never.
Well, look what you just said. No.
Yeah.
Well, he was just sick, so let's hope he doesn't get sick again.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever
get
sick again. No.
Why not? You know what? It's not the getting sick that gets me, but it's like anytime I talk about like, oh, I haven't had, stomach issues in a while, and it's just like, oh no, here we go again.
When it happens, yeah, you kind of like jinx yourself.
Oh, here I go again, puking.
Here I go puking again.
And I feel like that kind of like, when it comes to like, superstitions and whatnot, I'm one of those people that don't really believe in stuff like that. But good karma is a thing. Mm-hmm. Good karma is a thing. And I've racked up quite a few points for good karma, because there's other times where I'm like, I should be dead. 100%, I should be dead right now.
You should have died right there.
I have that feeling anytime I go to Arkansas and do some dumb shit, like jumping off a cliff into a lake.
You're like, whew.
I get up out of the water. I'm like, I'm not dead.
I'm like,
holy shit.
But I feel like I'm losing those points.
You're spending them quick.
Yeah, a little too fast.
Like that car that stopped really hard in front of us today.
Yo, that was ridiculous. You missed that.
What happened?
The light was yellow, and it was like this close to the line, and the jerk went and stopped. And I'm thinking that they're gonna go because they got so close to the line, and it like just switched to yellow, and they're right there, and I'm like, great. This goes back to the one.
My question is like, their car. It looked like it just stopped. Like it didn't rock forward or anything. No, like they stopped fast. It just went. Oh. Meanwhile, being Sam, it's like fucking. There's the scene from the Polar Express where they're like grinding, and almost going off the cliff or whatever.
On the ice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking
Like
of.
But I
sliding
stopped,
across.
and the lady behind me was like,
Yeah.
I was like, me too. Oh gosh.
I love when you can see other drivers reacting to like a reckless driver.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like you see them like throw their hand up like that, and it's like,
Yeah.
at least someone else feels the same as me.
I remember I used to drive to, it might have been basketball practice, and I would take the ramp to come up. This guy in this real clean, nice car decides to go, and he has to get off on the other ramp. So I'm going slow, and it's busy. It's really, really busy.
Mhm.
I'm going slow so he can go in front of me and get off, and I can go in. This guy decides to slow down as he sees me slowly coming up and look at me and has the nerve to honk at me, telling me to go. And I look at him go like this, and the cars behind him are honking. He speeds forward and gets off. And the dude that was next to me slows down and goes, I'm like, obviously this person doesn't know how to drive, and the guy behind him agrees, and he just lets me go in front of him. I'm like, thanks guy,
Right.
appreciate it.
Dude. You know what people don't know how to navigate? And I've noticed this more and more.
Roundabouts.
Yes, roundabouts. No
I
one
knew
knows
it.
how they work because it's just like, I'm pretty sure it's a European concept, and now it's just like slowly being integrated.
I mean, it's a decent concept.
It works.
It
It's a
does.
lot more effective than stoplights,
It is. It's
but no
slightly-
one knows how to use them.
It's slightly. It is a little bit hazardous. It is.
It is, but it keeps traffic flowing,
Yes.
and you get where you need to go faster.
Mhm.
It's probably the yield sign that they don't get.
Yeah, it is.
People don't know what yield means.
I did it again.
People do not know what yield means at all.
Yield is like you don't have to stop unless there's a car coming. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just essentially slow up.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah.
No,
Slow down.
slow up.
I will say, last night getting off work, it's 3:00 in the morning, jamming out to my music, to make myself feel better, and I'm going to the roundabout that's right there.
The one by the airport?
Yes.
Okay.
No cars. No cars. None in sight. Dude in front of me, dead stops. I'm like, what?
They see red and white and they think it's a stop sign.
I was
But
like,
it's the reverse.
and then he goes on the roundabout, and then I don't think he knew where he was going.
Did it just go
They
all the
just
way
go
around?
all the way
He
around.
no, he went, but there's the intersection to keep going straight, and the intersection to turn. I don't know if he stopped or kept going straight for a second, but his whole car went and went straight. And I was like, what just happened?
You just witnessed a real life glitch.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I don't.
Have you seen the video of the kid that's driving with his I think he's driving with his parents, and comes to this roundabout, and the mom goes, "Don't you dare, don't you fucking dare," and he starts drifting around the thing, and they start screaming.
That's sick.
Like, "You're never driving our fucking car again," or whatever.
I would have did that. That'd have been awesome. Took off.
I don't know why that just feels like a Brandon move.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Start drifting around a roundabout.
Yeah.
I'm not. That don't give me any ideas. I'm never getting in the car again.
In your car?
In his.
Oh.
if he sees this,
He's not a bad driver.
I'm not.
He's very good.
He is. But I'm not
He's a scary driver.
Yeah. See, I'm not the only one that agrees.
He's a fun driver.
Okay.
I mean, he's not as scary as he was before.
When I did drive, I kind of drove like Brandon. I only drove trucks too.
Oh no, no.
The one I couldn't do it with was the U-Haul that I brought to Texas. I could have tried. I didn't.
I don't want to think about that, Brian. I really don't.
Uh-oh, here we go again.
I kind of want to talk about the American education system.
Oh Lord.
Yeah,
Non-existent?
at the moment, kind of.
Troublesome.
Oh, you're talking about now.
But no. I wasn't talking about. I wasn't like hinting at now. I was talking about just in general.
I do have some theories as well how it should be. I like this.
Yeah,
A lot different.
I remember watching a video about how, I think it was Norway, how Norway does their schooling.
Dude, it's so good.
It's in Norway, it's schooling for children is not mandatory at all. Like, you don't have to go to school if you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
But since they give you a choice, most people do go just willingly. So here's the thing. The way they explained it was that they don't make it mandatory. So if you want to learn about something, you'd go to school to learn about it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the more you learn, like, so there's they let you get the incentive to want to learn.
Gotcha.
They don't force you to learn certain things. Learning is a lot more enjoyable when you want to learn about that specific thing.
Isn't it also about, like, kind of like how American colleges are? Like, you can choose what classes you want to take?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it is, because...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can...
I don't have a friend in Norway, but I do have a friend who's an exchange student from Sweden, and that's what he said it was like.
Yeah. And that's why I think they were saying, too, that Norway has, like, one of the highest IQs in the world, because people want to learn there. They learn willingly.
Well, a lot of Europe, honestly, like, because they've done schooling properly.
Yeah. Yeah, and, you know... countries like the U.S., you know, obviously you can see that with American reporters going to those countries and, you know, reporting about it, and I'm sure there's something I don't know about this, but we haven't switched to that kind of schooling yet.
There's stuff that's always in the background that we aren't aware of.
Yeah, I want to say, like, that would be such a great thing to bring to the U.S.
Yes.
Too
late for us.
But will we? No, because right now schooling's more about the pay. Not the pay for teachers, but the incentive for the government, really. I don't know. The way it's structured now and the way we have it run, like we have a board of education that formats the entirety of the country's educational system.
I don't think that's a...
No, it's not, especially since the Board of Education right now has a lower IQ than most of the people running the...
All right.
That's not a jab at either side of the party, at either side of the parties. I'm just saying the people that they have put in charge of the educational system are not smart people.
I really don't think that's a good idea to have, like, a set group of people running education for the whole country.
And if there is, it needs to not be political, because I'm pretty sure those people are voted in. It needs to not be political. It needs to probably be by intelligence, which would make sense. Just saying.
I think that there should be a sense of someone who is, like, has the intelligence of how it should be built, but then there should also be someone who's more common sense wise, and another person who is just more for the well-being of how everything should be put together. Yes. So just like how there's the checks and balances system for the government in total, just for the entirety of just the schooling system, it should be a thing separately in its own, and be watching over just schooling. That's it. That's their job. But it should cycle constantly, because somebody could be stuck on one ideal the entire time, and then we get stuck with that, just kind of like how we are now. How schooling just is the same endless cycle, except for now everybody is just kind of online. Which is another thing, is I feel like this online stuff isn't entirely for learning. It's more of just kind of getting these kids through this. Yeah, more so.
It's definitely it definitely feels like that. Like, yeah, it's not so much like the initial thought, I feel like, is we need to let these kids learn, because we're not just gonna let them go throughout life without learning.
Yes, without knowing something.
But it's being done very half-assedly.
Yes, very. Like, I have family, and they have, like, younger kids that are going to online classes. They have them doing, like, full 100% stuff, and parents gotta help and do that. They say that's like another job. But for, like, high school kids, it's kind of
It's just dumb.
It's just here's this, figure it out. Or
here's your graduation.
Yeah, here's your degree.
Yeah, there it is. There's your degree.
But I'm in high school. Here you go.
Leave.
Yeah. Here's the thing about high school.
It's a joke.
If there's anyone that's listening that is still going through high school and maybe their earlier years in high school, your counselors will tell you to take AP classes. If you don't want to take an AP class, don't. Yes. They'll tell you that you get benefits from it, like colleges will see this and want to take you. No, they fucking won't.
No.
It's not.
The only time you get the benefits is if you pass the AP test.
Yes.
But I think you have to pass within a certain percentile of the top 3 or 4.
I don't know what the percentage is, but I do know some people who took AP classes passed the AP testing and stuff pretty well, and it did help them with colleges. But it's certain colleges that accept certain parts of it. Mm-hmm. It's not every college accepts it. So that fact I do know, and they are pretty well off and ahead of the game. But they're ahead of the game because of the AP classes. So regardless of the fact they're ahead, you're still going to have to do it just as they did. Mm-hmm. So, I think that's just kind of the purpose to just be like, here you go, you seem smarter than a bunch. Sure.
Sure. I would say, well, obviously, unless it's a class that is necessary for the degree that you want to get.
Yes, for you. Yes, that is very true.
If you have your idea of what you want to do for an occupation when you get out of high school, and you know what classes you need to take to have more knowledge in that field, then take those specific AP classes. Like if you want to go into chemistry, take AP chemistry, and that'll benefit you. But if you don't plan to be a chemistry major, if you don't plan to do anything with chemistry, then why take AP chemistry?
Well, because AP classes cost money.
Yeah, AP classes, they're not free.
They're the not free part of the free educational system.
Hard. AP classes can be fucking hard.
AP English is pretty easy.
AP English is pretty easy, but again, unless you're going to be like an English major, or unless you want to be an author or some type of writer, why would you need to take it, right?
But even still, English classes, they help in that sense. But I mean, if you're looking to be a writer, I wish, like our friend Jack, he had a class called creative writing, which was much more beneficial if you're looking to be an author rather than regular English, because if you understand English enough at that point, because I took AP English my junior and senior year.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything we went over junior year, we went over in senior year. It was pretty much the same thing. So, like, there's no point. There's really no point. The AP test was a little different, but it was pretty much the same.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I guess that really depends on what the school teaches, the teachers, I guess, as well. Because it's going to be different throughout different schools. And obviously you won't know for sure until you take the class. You might want to, if you can, talk to people in higher grades about that kind of stuff. Ask them questions about what kind of classes you want to take. But again, I can't stress this enough. Do not let your counselors pressure you into taking AP classes if you don't need those classes, because they will do that. Everyone that I've talked to in high school, counselors always pressure you into taking AP classes, and they've only made my grades worse because they're harder classes.
You know why they push AP classes?
Money. Yeah.
It is. It is. It's sad to say, but it is the reason.
A lot of things are kind of leaning towards money and funding and everything. I will say this. I never took AP classes. I will admit that my grades have slipped quite a few times. This sounds like an excuse, but I will say from about the 4 confirmed concussions that I've had, I won't lie, I feel a little slower than most. But I feel more common sense wise, and my creativity is probably the only thing that keeps me going half the time. So when it came to like book smarts, I'm not. But if you like put me in some type of hands-on or creative thinking or on the spot kind of stuff, I got it. That's what I was good at. So taking an AP class, it's your choice is one thing for it. So yeah, don't let your counselor push you into it. Don't let your parents push you into it unless you 100% feel prepared that you can. And that goes for anything. Anything that anybody tells you, any advice that they give you, it's an opinion. You don't have to take it. You don't have to accept it. You can listen to it. You can take it to thought, sure. But you have to know that your choices are your own.
Right.
And your actions that you take forward from that is only caused by you, not somebody else. So you can't take that, you can't put that blame on somebody else.
Right.
Because you said yes when you should have said no, or you should have said next time. Because if you don't feel prepared for it, don't do it. But if you do, you can tell them thank you if you want, sure. But you made that decision to make yourself better in that mindset and or frame or whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Right. Don't let anyone pressure you into doing anything like that. Like, because if you give in to that kind of pressure, that can mess stuff up for you in the future. That can really mess stuff up for you, especially if you don't feel that you're ready for that kind of thing.
This is true.
And we're talking generally here, not just AP classes, not just higher classes in high school or whatever, but that goes with, with anything. That can be college classes. That could be a job if you don't think you're prepared for, taking a job, buying a car, buying an apartment, or renting an apartment, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Just
buying an entire complex.
Making any
buying a plot of land.
buying a plot of land.
Let's take this country for
you can be a lord and or lady in, I think it's Scotland. There is a website that sells 1 square foot of land if you want to qualify to be a lord or lady in Scotland.
1 square foot.
1 square foot. That's all it takes to become one. So if you qualify and you get passed through, you can put Lord in front of your name in any country you go in. I could be Lord Brian Rivera if I wanted to.
I do so believe that I am qualified for a Lord title.
That's kind of funny. I like that. So
Lord Stewart is my name.
So you can go you take people to your plot of land, and it's like
it's 1 square foot.
I am a lord.
Yeah, you're like, this 1 square foot of land is mine.
This is mine.
I own this foot of.
I am the lord of this soil.
I would have a tower built.
So
a really tiny tower,
tall and tiny tower, just straight up in the air. You'd be like, "This is mine.
My tower.
You touch it,
yes,
you will pay."
Why are we required gen eds?
Yeah,
that's true. That's
it's another waste of money. It's
right.
Good.
Because I have a lot of exchange student friends, because anytime there's people in from another country, I'm like, ooh, friend.
Yeah.
But I have a friend from England, so when he went to university, you only take the classes you want to pursue for your career.
Right.
Or you just don't go to university, and you're still likely to get a decent paying job, because most jobs in any country but the U.S. don't really require that much schooling, because they have to train you in that job when you're hired anyway.
True.
That's true. But I would kind of, I don't know so much about higher paying jobs, higher.
Now, you can't just go out and be a CEO.
Yeah.
But
right.
For most jobs, you can start off small and work your way up. Yeah, you don't need to, Right. I get the people that are maybe, more middle-aged and looking to just get, decent paying job. Sure, go back to school.
Yeah.
Get the information that you would have needed building your way up.
Right.
But for younger people, honestly, if you want to save money, just go into those smaller paying jobs and work your way up. That's what a lot of people are doing now, and a lot of companies are starting to realize it and not requiring college degrees. Like, I think you can go start off at Apple now without a college degree and work your way up to a coder.
Yeah, Google's doing that too, actually. They have an IT program.
Mm-hmm.
They're just training you right on the spot, which actually I kind of thought about doing because I could be at home and work. And
a lot of jobs are starting
like
to not
Google.
require college degrees because they're starting to realize
you can teach somebody from scratch.
You can teach anybody from scratch if they're willing to do that job.
Yes.
A lot of people aren't willing to do that job because there was that requirement of a degree, but now it's becoming more of a fair playing field.
Yes, it's the thing, like you said, going back to school, it is, most places anyways are going to tell you it's a piece of paper. Most teachers you have are going to tell you that it's a piece of paper when you go to college. Most places they're going to say, hey, do you have this? And they're going to say yes. So yes, it does give you a leg up, which is true. Mm-hmm. But you can still get there regardless. Right. Because while you're still working everywhere else, you're building a resume and you're already proving that you're more than capable of doing this, and that without having to devote yourself to one task at a time. When you could say, yeah, I've been here, I've been a supervisor, I've also worked here, I've worked as somebody who's been at the lower end and I just move stuff. And you could say I also handled, building and whatnot because I learned from such and such and I worked for their company. And here you are and at some bigger place and they're saying, wow, you've done all this. Good job. Sure, we'll take you. You may start at the bottom, but the longer you're there, you work your way up to the top without any issues.
Exactly. Well, like me, I started off seasonal and now I'm within a year, decently up there. And I don't know. It's just, it's interesting, like even in small businesses, or not small businesses, but low paying jobs like the one I'm in right now. But it's just interesting to see how you can go from one thing to another so quick as long as you have a good work ethic. And that's what me and somebody I work with were talking about recently. It's becoming less and less about, like you said, the piece of paper and more about how impressive your portfolio is. Mm-hmm. And that's how it should be.
I agree. Yeah. The more experience you have, obviously that's gonna have more of a lasting impression on people as opposed to like you said, just a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. Because what happens if you get hired into a higher position with a degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Say you probably don't. They probably don't train you because they think you probably know a lot of this stuff when you really don't, or they do things differently there. So it's scary trying to learn everything on your own. Because I know someone that's happened to where they get hired and they get put into this higher up position, like in kind of a leadership position, and they didn't know what the hell they were doing because they never got trained. They just see that, they've worked for this company before for a long time and they have this degree or, whatever. So they have like an impressive resume. But if you put them into a higher position without telling them what exactly they need to do, without training them, they're not going to know what to do.
Yeah.
It's going to be stressful for them. It's going to be scary.
I mean, but even with that, which it actually just kind of goes into with seasonal hires and stuff. Sometimes for seasonal hires, they aren't properly prepared. Mm-hmm. And it really hinders the rest of the work area.
Yeah.
A lot.
Definitely.
I've had some personal experiences in the past couple of weeks where which I understand you're doing your job and whatnot, but you also need to understand that we're here. We know how things actually go. Mm-hmm. So what you're saying, about 50% of it is true. So where I was working, they're stopping them to talk to them, but in the process, all their stuff is coming by, and I now have to work twice as hard when I'm already working twice as hard for the job that I have right now.
Yeah.
So I'm giving them their stuff, putting my stuff away, and doing something else so that everybody else on my team is doing okay.
Yeah.
I'm a team player, 100%. And if somebody talks bad about my team, I'm going to get on you saying you shouldn't do that because you probably don't know something. This goes back to understanding the situation before you cop an attitude, and then everybody's upset.
Mm.
Lack of empathy just creates a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And, you know, a lot of people don't know that they have a lack of empathy or that, you know, well, yeah, that there's a lack of empathy there. Which I think a lot of people should talk about that kind of stuff more. If somebody, you know, talks crap behind someone's back, but they don't know what's going on, that person should go to that other person and say, hey, this is what's going on. This is why you shouldn't, you know, talk like that when you don't know what's happening.
Yes.
You should think, everyone should think before they,
Speaking.
you know, talk
Yes.
crap about someone.
Mhm.
Because like even like through this whole conversation, I've tried to be, and I'm sure I've stepped over people's toes. I'm sure I've like had some lack of empathy when you know talking about the American education system.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are things set in place that I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, you know,
That's just how you feel.
yeah, that's just how I feel.
Well,
But you should
yeah.
try your best
Yeah.
to, you know, try and understand that there are things that you don't understand, that you don't know yet. That there are things that, you know, you need to know about before you can actually,
yes, display what you're feeling.
completely like complain about. I mean, you can complain about stuff, but like, you need to understand.
I see what you're saying. So you can complain about something, but you also need to explain the fact that you don't get it.
Yeah.
So you're not just complaining, you're also asking questions why.
Yes.
So you can't just bounce at somebody and then they tell you why and get upset. No, you complain because you didn't know. So you should expect an answer. You may not like it at all,
Right.
but that's why. So you really can't complain if that's actually why. One last thing I'll say about work is get a job. Don't be a bum.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
for all of you, it doesn't matter. We all will have bills to pay one day. You're on the list too.
That's another thing. It's like a lot of people, this is going back to college stuff as well, but a lot of people that do college end up in debt for years because of how expensive it is.
Yes. Money is...
Especially going away to like other like state colleges,
Mm-hmm.
universities, I guess I should say. And I've heard, okay, so I don't remember who I was talking with about this, but I was talking to someone. I think it must have been someone at my work, but that person knows people who go to university and they like met, or they like they overhear people talking at university, and they're like they overhear people going, yeah, I just failed this class, oh well, I'll just take it again, I'm not even paying for it anyway, it's my family, or it's my parents that are paying for it. That's a really bad mindset to have, because if your parents are paying for your college, that is a privilege.
Yeah,
because there are people like, you know, there are people out there that, you know, whose parents can't afford it, who, or if they're paying for college, or if they're trying to get FAFSA financial aid, that's it's them taking for granted that their parents can't afford to pay for their college. Like, obviously, if you fail a class, then there's nothing you can do about it at that point other than retake it. But you shouldn't have that attitude when going into a class.
Yeah, being you know.
Yeah, you shouldn't go into a class thinking, if I fail this, I can just take it again. Oh well.
I think that I'm not trying to down talk anybody who has that privilege. I'm just saying don't abuse it.
Yeah.
Because like you're saying that it's wrong. It really is. You shouldn't abuse the fact that it's kind of like, oh, it's not mine. Oh well. You should take the fact that it's given to you, and you need to take advantage of that, and not the fact that, oh, it's just going to come back around. Because if it doesn't, and you were ill prepared for it, it's going to suck. And that's going to bite you in the butt coming down the road. Because you said whatever, and now you're here, and who knows, your parents might not back you up after that.
Yeah.
You'll be stuck.
Yeah.
And then you'll be looking dumb because you don't have it anymore and you're SOL.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I'm not trying to, like, when I said earlier that the college system's kind of a joke, I'm not bad-mouthing all college kind of things. Like, I do believe college should be in place for stuff like if you're going into anything legal, anything medical, anything scientific,
there
or
are things
like anything like psychological, like therapist and stuff.
there are things that college is necessary for.
And
but,
things that it shouldn't be.
Yeah, but the lower degrees,
that are still decently
associates,
paying.
Yeah, associates and bachelors, are becoming less and less necessary for certain jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I find it hard, or I shouldn't say I find it. I have found that a lot of like generations before us, such as like my mom, my grandparents, are not accepting of that.
This is true.
They're like, you need to go to college, you need to do this, you need to do that. I'm like, at the end of the day, it's my life. If I can find happiness doing what I'm doing now, not like obviously not in the job that I'm in now, but in the path that I'm on now,
right?
Then you shouldn't try to dictate what I do, and you shouldn't get angry at me for it.
Yeah,
you can disagree, but don't try to rule my decisions.
Right.
I'm trying to think of a good way to word this. You're absolutely correct, Brian. They should still respect what you're saying and how you feel. I've had quite a few times where I kind of just looked at my parents like, really? That's how you feel about it? I'm happy you said that, but I'm pretty sure if I said that, it's me back talking you and I'm not listening. Oh no, I heard you loud and clear. I really did. Just keep to myself, I guess. But not the point. At the same time, you give them respect when it comes to growing a child. Are you done yet?
For the child,
right? When it comes to raising a child, I do think that you should both give and take the respect that's given to you both ways. I've always seen that. But of course, it's not always that way. It's the household sometimes that you grew up in, and that's just how they grew up. So you really can't always just fight against that. But when it comes to when they get older and they're about to get on their own, I think it's sometimes harder for adults to express how they feel towards their children because they're getting to that point of their age when they need to start making decisions on their own. So, they're right in the fact of, caring. It's just how they display the way that they care, because your child will take that as hostility, that you aren't letting them be free or be of age, I guess. But they're not. I've sat down, I've talked to my mom about this one-on-one, actually. I'm kind of happy that you brought this up. And we sat down and talked about it, and I was like, look, I personally feel that, the way that I'm doing things now, I feel good about, and I do plan on going back to school eventually, or I may find my way and this may take off and I may not have to go back to school. But it really is just a matter of fact of coming to that understanding, because after sitting down and talking with her, she did, get back to it, and she still pushed the fact that I should go back to school. I'm like, yes, I know I should. You are correct. But things are in progress, and I'm happy that they are. So she understands, and she's happy that I am actually, getting better and things are looking forward, but she still pushes the fact to go to school because it will save you in your time of need, because you can go to a job and say you have it, and they'll be like, okay, here you go. You can work here, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
Right.
They just say that.
Yeah.
They just, I guess you can work here. Okay.
But for my line of work that I want to get into, because I want to get into more like theatrical lighting and stuff like that.
Yes.
Right.
College helps. It does in a sense. But honestly, like I said, for at least me, it's how thick that portfolio is and how impressive it is at the end of the day, because you still have to interview. You still have to show your portfolio, even if you've gone to college.
You have to be able to say what you've done.
Yeah, you have to prove that you're good for the job that you were interviewing for.
Right. And that's like this. That's kind of the same with any like performing arts jobs. You not only have to be talented, but you have to be not so much that you have like experience. Like obviously, experience does help a lot. but it's a lot about having connections with people.
Oh, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's way more than just having the talent to do so. You have to have those connections, and you have to, be able to, I guess, you have to know people in that business that can, vouch for you. Because I've talked to certain people. One of my managers at one of my jobs, I was talking with them, and I was telling them how I think it'd be cool, to become a voice actor. And she was saying, I think it was like either her cousin or her brother was going to college for being a voice actor. And, he's taking acting classes and stuff like that, which they do help. But I think he said it's more about having those connections and having the experience as opposed to just the talent. Because... And it's the same with my cousin. He lives either in or near LA.
Oh yeah, that's busy.
And he wants to become a writer. At least the last I've heard of him. I
very competitive field in that area.
Yes.
That New York.
So you have to have connections.
Well, even Chicago now.
Yeah, the Chicago area is getting pretty busy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Still on my to-do list, and I'm pretty sure all of ours to get into some type of theatrical. I think that's okay. Back to the college thing, going to college. I was in college. I dropped out basically. Just it's not going to be on the record, I guess, or so they said. I'm pretty sure it would if I go back. Anyways, I felt like when I wanted to become an actor and whatnot and took the classes were great. They really were. But everything else I was there for...
It's just the way
general education.
That's not what I wanted to do.
It's like, why do I need, even for like an associates of arts, like what we were going for, and I guess still technically are, but I mean, we're not in college at the moment because we're just waiting.
Yeah.
But it's just like, why do I need 2 years of math?
Yeah.
Why do I need, 3 years, or not 3 years, but like 3 social science classes?
Right.
Like, yeah, psychology is cool, but why does that help me light design?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why does that help you with art?
If I understand the actors' minds, I might be able to tell why they're not in the fucking light.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man.
Why can't they find the
looking at every actor in Guilford?
I think it's just every actor in general.
Yeah. Except for like professional Broadway actors. But even then sometimes I've seen some like
stuff happens.
Like some funny like tech reels of people on Broadway just not being in light or messing up something.
Probably the best way to tell if you're in your light or not is whether or not you're being blinded.
Yeah.
Can you see the light?
Are you burning?
Are your corneas burning? Then you're in the light.
Yeah. Do you feel hot at all? You're in the light.
If you start to cool off, you're not in the light.
Yeah. You start to feel a slight breeze.
Well, I mean, that's not going to be
profusely in our
that is not going to be true of a lot of high performing college theaters now, and a lot of Broadway, because a lot of people are switching to LED ERSs.
Nice.
Wait, that doesn't make sense. LED. What are they called? Source 4s.
I touched an LED light bulb the other day, and it was fucking cool. Yeah. Like, I didn't burn myself at all. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, they don't burn bright. They don't burn hot.
Well, they're bright. They're just not hot.
Yeah, they're
really bright.
And they're just they're energy efficient as well. But but they cost so much. I think one Source 4 LED is like
LEDs and
upwards of $400 per light.
They cost a lot, but they last a lot longer as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
they do last
until you have someone drop them.
That's true.
First year techies suck.
Yeah, when I was taking my AP Environmental Science class in high school.
Oh no, not the AP.
That was like the one easy AP class.
That is the one AP class everyone took because it was easy and it gave you AP credit.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't do it. Nope.
But in that class, I I still like hold a lot of that information I learned from that class, just because I find a lot of that interesting and a lot of it's useful. Like this one specific thing was with light bulbs, with LED light bulbs lighting your house. Incandescent light bulbs last for like 5-10 years. I don't know exactly how long.
Depending on
depending on how much you use them. But like an average of like I want to say 5 to 10 years. And then LED light bulbs would last, like if you're using them equally as much, around 20 years. They'd be more expensive, but in the long run you're spending less money than you would on incandescent light bulbs.
Yeah, totally.
I just thought that was cool.
That's it for us, guys, from Junk Drawer, from us to you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching, as always. We're happy that you guys have came back. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, like, and comment down below, and to hit the bell icon right after you subscribe. Thank you so much. You guys have a great day. Bye from Sam, Tony, and Brian. Peace out.
Yeah, I was not ready for that. You did not. You led into that.
And it was like.